Tonight and they talk, say we no feet. Then they see but no believe. I play like play, we go clear their doubts. And we go be like him trick. I beat them things, say we go lock up. And just let them call the shots. Hey, guess what? Got news for you. And not the one who's losing can be sorry for who I am. And I don't care if you don't understand. You don't understand. I never let you down. We'll stand for the ground. 'Cause this is it. It's all or nothing to us. And hold your head up high. 'Cause this is who we are. Now in between. It's all or nothing.
Hello viewers, I am Maaroof and you're welcome to the pilot episode of my brand new show MIW, Maaroof's Interactive Wall, where I'll be bringing you a few minutes of footage to summon your wildest and weirdest imagination and jumpstarting your innermost creativity as I stand here and interact via images on this rectangular flame I'd like to call my IW. Now, besides its aesthetic purpose, this piece of artwork is quite crafty and it's very good for brainstorming as well as self-expression. So if there's any company or any organization that you feel you need ideas or something to come up with, this is the perfect place to come and check because it has all those. And before I jump into details, this was coined by me up here in my attic a few months ago, and I felt it was worth sharing with the world. So that's why I'm putting this up so people could look. I'm sure there are many others out there who are quite talented inside but don't know how to express themselves. So this is the perfect thing to use. You don't need anything extraordinary. You only need a few things. We want to make odds and ends make perfect sense in that exact order. So right there behind me, as you see, there are some books. I have magazines there, I have stationery, and I have some old newspapers and other things. These are the things that we're going to bring together to coin this very wall, piece by piece, just like a puzzle. We'll put them together and see how we're going to make sense out of them. It's very, very good, like I told you, the conundrums, the riddles in them, and we're going to try to make good sense of them. So please stay with me for the next few minutes as I explain that. Don't go away. Okay, I hope you're still with me. The MIW logo is quite self-explanatory. If you take a look at it, it looks like two puzzle pieces coming together, the white and the black. Okay, just picture yin-yang, but in a more, should I say, rectangular way. Okay, like two puzzle pieces coming together. The M is on the top, it's white, and the black part is the W, and that light bulb is what happened when I coined the idea. It struck a light bulb, and the sparks actually brought about the thought that I should start sharing this with you guys. So that's how the whole Maaroof's Interactive Wall came about. Okay, if you're wondering where this is happening, it's well, somewhere in Nigeria between the four walls and corners of my bedroom. Okay, so there's a philosophy behind this entire idea, why I actually coined it. I would like to go about it. I won't philosophize, but I'll just like to tell you that this whole concept came from the love and passion I have for rock music as well as cartoons. So I felt I still have records from the past that I've been keeping, and I don't actually know what to do with them. Right now I listen to them occasionally, but there's barely time for that. So the booklets have this abstract ideas that I kept coming up with, so I felt, well, I could make perfect use of them by doing this and sharing with you guys. So I'm sure there are a lot of people out there. You have your magazines, you have stuff there, pictures, collect them, and as you watch this program, you would come up with ideas on your own, and we'll start sharing. You can like our Facebook page, which is Maaroof's Interactive Wall, MIW. It's shown there on the screen, and then at Twitter too. You can follow me on Twitter. The handle is @Daredevil. That is my personal handle, or you can follow Modern Graffiti. All the same. We'll come up with the Instagram pages and the rest later. So that's how the whole concept came about. My passion for rock, as you can see on every part of this wall, you're going to find CDs and some pictures, and you'll be wondering what I'm doing with them. Okay, so courtesy of things like channels like Walt Disney, Nickelodeon, and some other few that I have, I'm making good use of these storybooks and these magazine pages, and the main influence, Smart Magazines. I'm going to be using all that to come up with the most brilliant of ideas. So we'll get down to business right about now. Thank you. On Luck Goes the Weasel, I pulled out a page from my comic advertising Strength in Numbers, Justice League padlocks for the DC fans collection. Now for this stage on the IW, I happen to have two tiny padlocks hiding in my drawer. Seems they'd come in handy sooner than I thought. I hung one on the left end beside Green Lantern's lock down there, and the other on the far right next to Wonder Woman's. So this kind of gives the work a slight 3D effect and a little sense of togetherness, even though it's obvious that neither one belongs to a superhero, but it still flows, if you get what I mean. Okay, here now on TikTok for here's this one's for the wacky players. This is a part where you get to challenge your friends or even foes to a game of noughts and crosses. In other words, X and O. Well, it's an old game that we've been playing since we were kids, so I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. A pen hangs on the top of the sheet, and you get a chance to play a couple of games. This is particularly fun for a warm-up activity when you receive visitors in your room or office. Perhaps you can play a game just to ease the tension, kind of like an icebreaker, at least before getting down to business. And the best part of it is you could always replace a sheet when it's full, so you can game on. If you give it a try, it's a lot of fun. This phase is a bit complex as one needs to take a close look at what's happening before interpreting the composition. So I'd show you up here is a leaking blue brush which hangs from the top there as you see it, and if you look closely you'll notice I used colored pencils to make impressions of different drips of blue paint on the first square. Some are light, some are dark, depending on the strength of the paint that is coming down. Now, before I go any further, this is the album cover and the CD from the pop punk band PeRiLous album, Brand New Eyes. I'm sorry, some of you already know that. So back to the sequence. The blue paint falls on the yellow butterfly's wings, and coincidentally, three horizontal blue dots of the same shade can be seen across the center, as you see. So I added more dripping effects falling off the butterfly onto the CD below, creating a projection that its color changed due to the paint. That is, the blue paint actually spilled on the CD to give it this particular shade of color. Now the best part of this piece is how I managed to find a transparent sample CD to cover the initial one, placing it over it, and which gives it that natural gossamer sort of look. If you wonder what gossamer is, it's that thread-like look, but spider webs. So this looks a bit natural, how the pupa is wrapped before the butterfly stage. So it's similar to what you see in a butterfly's life cycle. I managed to find it in my drawer as well, I think from some CD collection, I don't know. Okay, on the free Three Faces Cipher, I've combined three rock album covers from my collection with some sort of intricate connection. Okay, at the top here is Fall Out Boy's Infinity on High. That's the center page. And what follows is Paramore's Riot. The link here is that when you put infinity on high, it brings about some type of craziness. It spells out madness or something totally out of control. Hence the riot here. As you can see, there's a little madness here written in different proportions. Some are large, some are small, and all talking about riot, a lot of commotion. So at the end of it all, the culprit always gets busted when you look down here, just like the three guys from this band, which aptly describes the stamp. So they've been busted. This band is called Busted, so they've been busted, I guess. It coincides somewhere. Okay, the bullseye or the horn is when we're talking darts and targets, then we could consider this unique CD pattern in black and white. Perhaps you mistook this for yin and yang, just like I did too in the beginning, but it's actually something for the aimer to shoot at for little motivation. Thanks to Sugar Cult, As We Dream in retrospect is their past album. This is Palm Trees and Power Lines, CD case, just in case you're wondering. All right, now we come to the major part of the project. That's the journey through the PeRiLous media wire. Okay, this is the main part of the project where you really need to concentrate. It's the eye catcher. This is where the junction is, and this is where the theater is. Like I said, the junction is actually where everything meets or everything collides somehow. Okay, that's the center of attraction, yeah, in other words, and the theater as well, where you catch a glimpse and you look, is the busiest part of your interactive wall. Now, for most IWs, there's a major project, like some sort of philosophy around which the main story is based. Through the Wire is the major part of this IW. Now we'll take it from this side. We're going to take a look. There's a mighty SOS as the Scooby-Doo gang here are being attacked by a giant sea creature, which sends our Looney Tune friend, the Tasmanian Devil, dashing out of the scene, as you see. So he's frightened by what just happened. Velma manages to send a signal from the right earphone that hangs on this side, as you see, where Dilbert receives the message from Velma and sends it further north through the roots of an old video receiver. Thanks to the Foo Fighters album page, there's a video receiver with a little root to show you that this was started underground and it's going upwards. The nerdy dude up here is just pretty much as puzzled as some of you are, so don't sweat it. Okay, you have the question mark up there, it proves everything. The left earphone links with a buried radio tape. Okay, this is Dashboard Confessionals album cover. As you can see, a tape buried halfway through the soil. So it's just showing you that after the roots, when you come upwards, you're just coming out of the soil, and that's where you can find the radio tape. It transmits the message in three different directions on a complicated track. Okay, as you see here, there's a track with arrows all over. You'll notice a creature from Dr. Seuss's books responsible for making the cogs spin. Okay, now we're going to take a look at all three of them, one after the other. The first arrow leads to Heroes and Heartbreaks. Okay, this one's for the broken-hearted paraders. Green Day's American Idiot cover came in handy when the thought of this crossed my mind. The original picture has this hand holding on to a heart bomb ready to explode, but I thought of accentuating it a tad more by using a soft red piece of fabric and creating drips of blood using a faint red colored pencil. Now, if you take a look at it, apparently the actor here is sick and tired of how much love hurts, so he's pulled out his heart and squeezed it. Okay, this relates to the media in such a way that, well, you know, some songs are heartbreaking, heartbreak song. So this one's for people who wind up on this side of media lines, the receiving end, I should say. Okay, we have the car crash forecast. That's where this arrow leads to. Okay, just below the cog here, there's a vertical road with yellow lines that fade into white lines. On the next panel, as the band members from Dashboard Confessional stare at a car. Mind you, the bottle opener is from my fridge. I borrowed it for this interactive wall, so I'm going to be returning it when I'm done. But that's where I got the car from. We can see a car driving upwards, okay? Now this is an accident waiting to happen. Okay, a car driving upwards, you all know that it's a very, well, should I say, dangerous and impossible situation. It reflects via a metaphor showing an approaching meteor on the left side as two frightened children scream out for help. Okay, this is these children and the meteor are actually from Funeral for Friends album, Welcome Home Armageddon. So as you see, the children are scared. This is just a metaphor, an embodiment showing that when the car is falling off, of course, it's dangerous. It's going to cause something very terrible, and the meteor rock is approaching as well. So I use the meteor rock on the left to approach that side, and the kids are screaming out for help. Okay, and the last one for from this particular one is the scare view mirror. Okay, this is where the white lines vanish across the ocean. From the yellow ones, you can see that we have white ones which fade out, and we can see Nickelback's Chad Kroeger and his crew with half their bodies floating in the ocean. So the concept here is that looking closely, one notices the same four legs underneath the water, but from a different band entirely. If you take a close look, this is McFly's Motion in the Ocean album cover, and it fits the piece here quite well. Because looking at it the first time, you'd think the feet belong to these four guys here, but if you look closely, it belongs to some pop punkers from McFly. That's their Motion in the Ocean album. So it had almost the same scenario, so I decided to merge them together as it's going to make the concept much better. All right, to conclude this segment, a hero always saves the day, as we all know. We all know it, it's a platitude. So Buzz Lightyear awaits a signal. Buzz is here, courtesy of Toy Story, Walt Disney. He waits at the end of a PeRiLous media wire in case any one of those accidents I've explained earlier chooses to happen. And Dilbert's buddy, Dogbert, is there. He's waiting here live, waiting to give us feedback as well. So that's it for the PeRiLous media wire. If you take a look back, if you didn't really get what I was saying, if you just take it a few slots back, you're going to understand the concept behind it all. Okay, down here we have the Avenger Challenger. Okay, this is the Incredible Hulk. So in Hulk's challenge, our everyday gigantic Marvel monster, man, he staggers under the weight of FOB's explosive American Psycho album. That's Fall Out Boy. You can see him, but can he avert disaster before the firecracker blasts Maaroof's interactive wall to smithereens? As you can see, the firecracker is slowly going down, and so can Hulk handle the weight and get rid of it before it explodes completely? That's the big question. Here we have search but do not destroy. Okay, search and destroy is actually a track from 30 Seconds to Mars's album. It's a song that I like, but I kind of changed it here. Search but do not destroy this time. So 6 Silhouettes Stand Before You, obviously an album cover by one of our favorite bands, Linkin Park. Well, as impossible and awkward as this sounds, in one of their incredible adventures, Chester and Co. Have found an identification card belonging to one of Walt Disney's most popular characters. One of my favorites too, from the early days. That's Donald Duck. Okay, his ID card is here. So the instruction reads, if found, please return to Disneyland. Everybody knows it's all downhill from here. So that's the connection. As you can see them, they're standing somewhere like, well, in the middle of some kind of planet there, and they're the heroes there, still looking for the ID card. And when they found they found it. So now it's time to take it back to Disneyland, where it's going to be the final destination.
Unplugged is the last bit, as it depicts a rocker. That's Gary Lightbody from Snow Patrol. That's his back view. He's at a concert, about to blast the crowd with his awesome vocals. However, on the right, we can see that the controls have been tampered with and might just need a little adjustment, else it's gonna be another silent night for the fans. So we thank Hoobastank. This is the Good Enough Lyrics page from their album Every Man for Himself. You can see some speakers that need require adjustment, as you can fade some out. And that's the relationship between this. The louder you twist this, the sound could get better. So that way, Gary Lightbody could run the show actually. All right. So fire on Cake Mountain. Okay, this is Ratbert. That's Dilbert's buddy. Thanks to Scott Adams. Ratbert's always alert and ready to tell us any birthdays worth mentioning by lighting candles on special occasions. So Ratbert is just watching for the day, and we could just around read a few birthdays from the wall here. All right, to-do lists and forget me nuts. Okay, we can talk about things that I'm going to do and things I shouldn't forget, but they're not that important now as I'm telling the story. So the bonus is this is what happened when a crafty tree I made out of colored paper and scissors met this crocodile token I found in a Kellogg's cereal pack. It was a big bite. So as you can see, I just decided to use it as an adornment and a contribution. It's just a bonus. Well, it's not really part, but it can serve as part of the interactive wall if you wanted to. Okay, well, that's it for today's interactive wall episode. I do hope that you caught the concept. If you didn't really get what I was talking about, you can always skip back and listen to it again and see if you can conceive it in your own perspective, from your own perspective and viewpoint, and tell your own story. You're always welcome to reach me online if you want, by my Twitter handle. You can tell me by @Daredevil on Twitter. You can tweet at me, and you can check my Facebook name, which is Maaroof Rockaroo Ahmed. It's on the screen there, so you can just add me up. And you can also like my Facebook page, which is MIW, Maaroof Interactive Wall, as well, so that you can get the latest feedback and what's trending on MIW. So, well, that's it for now. Bands to thank. I'd like to thank Nickelback, Fall Out Boy, Foo Fighters, Green Day, Busted, Dashboard Confessional, Snow Patrol, Funeral for a Friend, Paramore, Linkin Park, McFly, Sugar Cult, Hoover Stank, and if I forgot your name, I'm so sorry. I'll make sure I do a thorough checkup next time. So thanks for being with me, and that's where we conclude today's interactive session. Thank you very much.
Okay, do you have found objects, odds and ends, things that you feel are useless that you use to litter the place? You can always recycle and make good use of them. It's all about being creative. Creativity is all in the head. You're not born with it, okay? You come up with ideas as time goes on, and then you try to put them into good use. Never think that your idea is feeble. It's not. The bigger, the better. And as you keep expressing yourself, you get to motivate yourself. And with programs like these, you get to inspire other young artists and people who are talented to come up with programs. So please don't stop pushing. Keep pushing.